like to go into more how Saturn in Libra will be affecting each of the sun signs, because as Saturn goes through Libra, it will make us an aspect, like a conjunction or a sextile or a trine or a square, to the different people's sun signs. So in the different astrology signs. So could you give us a little window on that, so how it will be affecting people like someone who has a sun in Aries? Could you talk about how Saturn could be affecting Aries?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's look at that. I think that, again, if you know your astrology chart, that's always the where it's at. If you know your rising sign, that helps too, because it will show
which house.
So yes,
it would especially be affecting, well, if you have a personal planet, Venus or
right, of course,
Ascendant or whatever in Aries, it's going to be affecting it. But the one,
right.
the key one that it would affect the most would be the Sun or the Ascendant, right?
Right, exactly. So if you know those key placements, and you know what, if you don't know those placements, it's a great, I always recommend it.
You can run a chart. You can go to your website. Can't people run charts at your website?
Yeah, they can check in. You can get reports. I think just to have these tools, it's a great time now in history. I mean, it's a great time anyway, but right now to understand yourself, because that's that synergy we talked about earlier. If you can understand yourself, know your chart, know your energy vibration, your energy signature, your purpose, this lifetime,
so
the
let's
potential
give your websites again so people know. NewWorldAstrology.com and SeasonalCycles.com. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to be teaching a lot of classes ahead too. So if you're going to stay in tune with the website, sign up for the blog, because I'm going to take you on a journey in the months ahead on how to read your own chart and look at other people's charts and understand your dynamic, other people's dynamic. Yes. It's a great tool to be able to use
and
now.
And you're especially gifted in helping people to strategize, to read their cycles, and to create strategies for making the most of the cycles in their life. And you have a book coming out, right?
Yes, I'm busy working on a book, and it's relating to these cycles too. It's my title I'm working with right now is Surfing Your Seasonal Cycles, and it's a book that you can use any year of your life, any day, any month of your life to see which cycle you're moving through, because these cycles have a habit seasonally of repeating. Every year it's a different theme, but deep down at the core, it's the same area of your life that's being affected during different months. So that's something that another tool, for your astrological toolkit, as it were. So if everyone stays in contact with the website, you'll know when that's being launched and released. Another tool to use during Saturn and Libra, another tool to use to understand yourself and other people in your life.
Yeah, so we'll talk about how will Aries be affected. Let's go through all the signs and just briefly say, how the different ascendant sun signs, in particular astrology signs, will be affected.
Yeah, well, Aries is a sign opposite Libra. So when Saturn moves through Aries, when Saturn moves through your sign, or if you have personal planets in Aries or Aries rising, when Saturn starts moving through Libra, you're going to really get a chance to really play with this. That's the signature for you. It imprinted upon you more strongly than many of the other signs, because it's in the house of relationships. In your life, it's the other. So you might find that if you are in a relationship, you have to become more serious about that. You have to become more committed. You have to decide if the vows are working for you, or can you give these vows? Can you decide, are you there 100%, or are you kind of mediocre about this? Are you in or are you out? Whether it's a personal relationship, a business relationship. So you really get a chance to understand where your commitment is. And also the relationships, maybe there's a burden that you have to, your partner or whoever it is around you that you're in a union with, there's a heaviness around them, and you have to kind of help support them on that level. But you get a chance to really understand this Libra thing. Aries is a sign of the self. Libra is a sign of the other, and Aries will get a chance to play with the other energy, which is stepping out of themselves and looking at other people around them, and really learning about fairness, really learning about cooperation and compromise. And that's a big lesson for Aries to learn, and the Saturn and Libra cycle will really help them understand that. They'll get another insight, which is where somebody else is standing, and that's a powerful insight for an Aries to have, because they can empower other people, because they have a lot of that self-empowerment. So now it's about empowering the other in your life, and in return having relationships that can empower them as well. It's a win-win situation. That's what Aries are looking for, the win-win.
And Taurus?
Taurus, Saturn's moving through the sixth cycle, or sixth house, as it were, for Tauruses, which is really about kind of cleaning up the areas of your life that are not quite working, seeing the flaws. It's really kind of like that old cycle we moved through of really finding a way to be of service more, finding a way to bring their energy. Taurus relates to the energy of Venus. Taurus and Libra are both ruled by Venus. So Taurus are the key players in this new cycle, which is how can I be of service how can I use my Venus energy to help out more? How can I bring this Venus energy to people around me? And Tauruses will have to start by cleaning up their own areas of their life, cleaning up their health, cleaning up their body, cleaning up their work environment, their space, and bringing Saturn into their energy of their job. The sixth cycle of the sixth house relates to their job. So there could be some job restructuring going on for Tauruses. They might decide that they can find some work that's more in line with what they want, something that's more in line with a service that they really feel they can perform. So there is going to be some hard work there for Tauruses, but they're built for that. They can do that. So they're the ones that are really kind of cleaning up the mess around, keeping order in society and in their personal lives, and really keeping things simple, simplifying them. Simple is beautiful, and Tauruses are always a messenger for that. So this new cycle will really kind of embody that. Tauruses can keep it down to earth and practical, and that will be the most beautiful thing they can do for themselves and everybody else.
How about Gemini?
Gemini have to get their creative power established. It's about having fun, which Geminis I'm sure love to hear because they have that kind of nice flighty kind of, social butterfly energy. It's really getting serious about having fun and really getting serious about their inner child, the part of themselves that's still joyful. They might find that they have that kind of stage fright can pop up sometimes when you have Saturn moving through that part of the child that Geminis will be having, which is you need to understand that all of us are just children. All of us have that child, youthful spirit inside of us. And bringing up, the idea of romance and fun and joy again. Because a lot of us, when we go through that Saturn chapter, we'll find that serious side pops up. There's a lot of things that we have to deal with, things that have to be ironed out and made stronger. And Geminis can remind us that just by being spontaneous and youthful and free, and that's their natural instinct, they can help us all tap into that Libra energy. So Geminis get serious and committed to your creative side, the side of you that can find a joyful way of living, shine your light even in the darkest of times. That's the role that you can play in this cycle, and you can help brighten the world by doing that. Hold on to joy. That's ultimately
Libra
Gemini.
is trine Gemini, so I'd imagine there would be some, that would be fairly easy for integration to happen.
Yeah, very, very easy. I think that's just, it's Gemini liberating themselves to be, they don't need to be heavy. They can let themselves, as long as they commit to being joyful and not holding themselves back. Geminis are going to be surrounded by a lot of people that are being held back or feeling a bit weighed under by things. As long as Geminis can still be spontaneous and be their free-spirited selves, that's the ultimate creative act, is the act of loving no matter what's going on around, is not judging things based on their outward appearance, but just loving the experience of life, human liberation. And Geminis are good at that, and that's what they can do to help us all out.
So that's the strategy for integrating that, is just...
Yeah.
Because it seems like a juxtaposition, of that lighthearted butterfly with the more serious Saturn, But
right.
It sounds like if you can relax, that there will be a lot of opportunities, gifts that Gemini will come to.
It's really just committing to using that energy. You can be creative in many ways. You can kind of squander your creativity. You can be singing in the shower, or you can take your words out onto a stage, and you can help out society by saying, I'm going to share my gifts, and I encourage you to do the same. And it's sharing the gifts from the heart, and that's where the Saturn structure can come in, which is discipline that. Spend some time, spend some time really kind of using the gifts you have and the tools you have to shine some light out there in the world. And that's where you can balance out the creative, free-flowing side with the Saturn side, which is like, give your creativity, give the energy from your heart some form.
Wonderful.
Give it a life, embody it in the physical world, paint a picture, write a poem, share the love that you have inside in a tangible way. That's what Gemini can be encouraged to do.
Oh, that sounds wonderful for Geminis. Okay, so Cancer, how's it going to be affecting Cancer?
Well, Cancers will be in the Saturn will move through the fourth house of their chart, and the fourth house relates to Cancer energy. So Cancers really get a chance to do what they're always here to work on. It's really a key time in Cancer's history, in Cancer's life path, which is getting comfortable, finding a place to belong in their own lives, in their own skin, which is if Cancers listening to this haven't been letting themselves be comfortable because they've been worried about family things, or they haven't been feeling like they belong where they are in the space they live, or the city, the town, the country, the apartment, the house. It's really a manifestation externally now of their internal comfort. So